Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Arena Brawl video, where we will once again be looking at a deck that I've previously done, and you've seen in every iteration so far, and it's Vraska, Swarms, Eminence, deathtouchers, this time named Inexorable Death. Now, this is probably a much more major bit of adjustment compared to the last one, where the majority of cards that have been added are to make the curve significantly lower, because as I've mentioned before, I believe, I do have a Oathbreaker version of Vraska, where the curve is incredibly low. It's mainly 1s, 2s, and 3s, because my signature spell, which for those you don't know is kind of like a command zone spell that you can only cast when you control the Planeswalker for your Oathbreaker deck, in that instance is Gruesome Menagerie, which allows me to quite easily replenish the deathtouchers that I previously lost. Now, Gruesome Menagerie wasn't in previously because there just wasn't enough in like the 2-mana range that justified it being there, since we often would miss it. However, I've re-evaluated that now, because we also have Call of the Death Dweller, which allows us to return a total mana cost of 3, so we can take advantage of having a few more 2s with 1s to get value there, or we can just bring back a 3, and then we give a Death Touch and Menace counter as we choose, divided among them. So it's got quite a bit of versatility there, where the Death Touch counter may end up being redundant, but at the same time we can stick it on some of the more useful utility cards like Order of Midnight or Midnight Reaper, so that they then gain the Death Touch as well. But then we also do get to give Menace as well on top of that. And obviously we have the Ozolith, since Vraska gives +1/+1 counters to everything, so the Ozolith being able to store them to stick onto something else is pretty useful. With that in mind, we have also taken into account that with something like Boot Nipper, which, as well as filling up the 2-mana slot, can give us a Death Touch or a Lifelink counter on it. So we get a relatively decent, hopefully, set of counters that we can then push through with. And then we also have Chevel as a new addition. Once again, another 2-mana Death Toucher. This way, hopefully, should be able to draw us a few cards, gain us a little bit of life here and there. So, with this bit of a shift towards a lower curve, it should hopefully play a lot more aggressively, and whilst we are then more vulnerable to board wipes, we do potentially have the chance to bring that back still, because of the fact that we have a little bit more recursion. Maybe not as much recursion as we should have to accommodate for that. I was tempted to put back in a few additional spells that were cut previously, like Dead Revels, just because with our lower curve and our cheaper creatures, being able to push through 1 damage here and there is more likely to then get that more reliably to tick off. And I may consider that again in future. However, for now, let's see how this performs and get into some games. Alright, Illuna, Apex of Wishes is our first opponent. That's a lot of land that I think we keep it. The Malady should hopefully set us up a bit. We don't need that, we need creatures, ideally. Call of the Death Dweller can bring back Pestilent Spirit, although it gives counters that are completely worthless in that instance. Okay, they got a bit of ramp going, which isn't the best. I'll just crack that, I guess. I'll keep it for now, just in case. Not sure what in case of, but hey. I guess we'll get black. Okay. Get a Pestilent Spirit out. Now they do have something up, and because there was the Gilded Goose they held up, it could be pretty much anything. Alright. They are punching through for 1 with a Ginger Brute. I'm guessing they've got something... No? Interesting. Well, I'm going to drop Vraska in that case. I guess they want something... I don't know. Either way, this should work in our favour. We're able to get another Death Toucher. Sedge Scorpion, Rabid Bite. Seems like a decent set of plays. Okay, Adversary. It's if I control a green permanent, so yeah. That is pretty decent on their part. However, that will be probably what gets Rabid bitten. Right, the fact they've got as much mana up as they do is somewhat concerning. Could be Flame Sweep, so I'll swing first and see how they decide to go about things. I've still got an Assassin's Trophy, if necessary. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, I'll Assassin's Trophy this. See how they respond. Although that does ramp them. Which I did forget about.
You see an assassin coming for you.
Regardless, I've got Rabid Bite ready to go. So I do still have an action there, unless they wipe the board, which I don't think they can at the moment. Illuna on its own is not too much of a threat, because I think it does have to mutate. That is tapped, unfortunately. Let's see here. So, what does Rabid Bite like so? And take a swing. All of these grow. And I'll drop this anyway.
But I rarely offer discounts.
Because that's going to be a powerful Pestilent Spirit next turn. Now they're going to fight it. No, they doubled counters. Alright. Well, they still can't block Pestilent Spirit. And now they have to block. They call it there. Good game. Alright, I think that went alright. I believe they were trying to pump that up, make it really big, so that they could then get a Luna onto it and just swing for a one-shot lethal. It would have been a 16... Yeah, 16-16, so that still wouldn't have been lethal there, but would have still been a really powerful punch. Ooh, and now we've got Snapdax, who is going to be somewhat scary since Snapdax will be able to kill quite easily our small creatures. So, this is somewhat fortuitous. I will just play out the Foulmire. It is 5 mana to mutate onto it though, so it gives us a little bit of time. It means I should be able to... Creatures your opponents control can't have +1/+1 counters put on them. Pro-green. That is pretty bad for me. I legitimately need to get an answer for that. And I've got very few of them. Oh, and if they mutate Snapdax onto that, then that's going to be a massive problem for me. Alright. Gonna leave Fabled Passage for next turn.
I'm good at what I do, and what I do is swim.
Okay, that's one thing down. Now obviously, as I said, Blight Beetle is a massive problem. But yeah, the Fabled Passage I'm saving for next turn because then Evolution Sage gets double triggers on Vraska, which at the very least makes another Death Toucher. That is a problem.
Shadows for now.
But they are also down. Okay, let's swing in with everything. I'm sure they are just going to keep blocking Evolution Sage. It's worth a shot. And hopefully they play out Snapdax. Okay, I've got a land I can discard. I mean, I can't respond to that anyway, so... And now they've... Oh, alright, they're hitting me for 4. I'm going to take this opportunity to drone us. Keep the Fabled Passage in hand just in case they are holding on for another land to mutate onto Cavern Whisperer, so I have that to discard instead of Status Statue. Ronus presents them a much more considerable threat, although they do have pro-green to just block that eternally. Alright. So I swing with both of them. Presumably they block Ronus. However, I will drop this first just in case they don't. because they may go and block, yeah, evolution stage there, because that gives it, but then that does get me a card draw, so I can get Garenbrig down. And now I have mana for Vraska to start making tokens again. But as expected, they want to mutate onto that, which then starts gaining them life, and they've now got a blocker for Ronus. I draw another card, and I discard a card. Oh, come on, I need some removal. It's not the removal I needed. Okay, let's see here. Best course of action. Just straight up Vraska. I think Knight of the Ebon Legion. And my logic here is because I can keep up Status Statue, blow up the Conclave Tribunal. Presumably they're going to use removal of some sort on Knight of the Ebon Legion and want to attack in. This way, disincentivize marginally. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. I'm going to have to discard my forest. If they do 4 damage, I can pump it +3, so it survives. Okay. Oh shit, it's got double strike. That's a problem. I forgot about the double strike bit. I'll do it now. So we give it Death Touch, and we give it Menace. If they've got something they can mutate onto their Snapped Axe, then Grimdancer is going to die, unfortunately. But Knight of the Ebon Legion can still be pumped. And now it's got flying. So now I can't block it, but then I'll kill Grimdancer. But I've not got a card to discard, fortunately. So we attack with Knight of the Ebon Legion. Should have probably pumped it regardless. In fact, yeah, I definitely... What am I doing? They can now kill Knight of the Ebon Legion. Ah, that was a massive misplay. Ah, they can destroy 2 things. Ah, pro-green. 1 creature right at the start of this game that just shut me out completely. The only plus side is because of the fact that, although they've almost gone back to full health, Okay, yeah, they're now starting to go on the offensive. I think because they can outrace me. Well, that's a flyer. That survives that. But I can't block it because I've got Menace. Oh, it can't... It gains them on entry as opposed to enters with them. No, wait. Few mutations. Like... Yeah, take that action. This is pretty much game. I want to see... Light Beetle. It's not showing me the one card. It's got so many mutations it won't show me the mutation I want to see. Okay, wait, there. Protection from green. Creatures you control can't have... But that enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter on it for each. I swear. Right, I think it's because it can't be put on period. Anyways, I'll cast this. It's game. I'm fairly certain. I was fairly certain that because it was not put on them, they entered with them. That shouldn't have done that. But hey. And another bit of Mizzet. Well, we got a pretty rampy hand. So I think I'm going to go with Vraska next turn, create a token, so that it can start attacking, and then, assuming that they don't kill the Paradise Druid, I'll go for... Well, I guess they're going to get rid of Ronus probably, so it can't come back. But, yeah, Guardian Project would... If they get rid of Guardian Project to cut out my card draw, then, yeah, I'm not playing that out. Next turn, yeah. There goes the Guardian Project. Keeping whatever they've got on top. Chevel's pretty decent.
Call me a death dealer, but I rarely offer discounts.
So yeah, Chevel depends a little. Do like that Casualties of War. With that Casualties in War in mind, I'm gonna keep that on top actually, because that can bring things back. Don't want to attack with that. They do trade into that. Interesting. It suggests to me that they've not got a board wipe imminent, and that means that I've got an imminent Casualties of War. Of course, I'm still hoping they play out something. Well, I now know the land I'm destroying. Seems like a waste. So I will hold off for now. Accounting mana, which is never a good sign.
Fighting here is more fun than in the Undercity.
I guess I could blow up the enchantment and then one of the other lands. That would work. Okay, there we go. Now... Come on, play out. Ah. I was hoping they didn't have a board wipe there. Because then it would have been a really, really good setup for Casualties of War. However, I will shovel and then I'll bring back our... I mean... Yeah. Bring back Leyline Prowler. Miss it. They got some good options going. They have 2 mana, or is it just 1 mana of any colour? No, it is 2 mana of any one colour. So they could play out their Paradise Druid again. And they've got 3 mana, they could Clarion. And they will play out the Clarion. Ah. Awkward. I should have got... yeah, I should have got Paradise Druid there. So maybe not going for that Casualties of War then will have cost me. Yeah, they detention the Prowler. I really... Ronus is next. Yeah. That was a misplay. I should have definitely gone for... I am so screwed. I've got far too many things that I have to hit here. 5 into 6, 3 into 4. Screw it. We'll just play out a Ronus. It does nothing, but it's a threatening body. What do they get for 4? Polychronos, which can then fight Ronus, and it prevents the damage so it doesn't even die. Right, well, this is going well. Oh, now interesting. Krenko. So I have not actually played against many Krenko decks. This is pretty decent, I feel. Witch's Cottage being our only black land at the moment isn't the best, but we can make do. We drop that, we drop the Boot Nipper. We drop that. We'll keep the Paradise Druid instead of the Boot Nipper. For the Paradise Druid instead of the Boot Nipper, sorry. Because then I'm able to get Vraska out next turn. They could go straight for Krenko here. Alright. With that in mind, maybe Questing Beast is the right line of play. Now, I'll still go for Vraska, because if they use Burn to get rid of the token, then Questing Beast is able to come in and do some work. That's pretty good. Okay, it's got first strike, so I am going to block it still. Tokens block this.
How you live is how you'll die. Oh, I'm running out of room to store my trophies.
Oh, that's not good. It's still not safe for Krenko to attack. That's 12 damage. That's 17 damage. And then I've got to attack next turn. I think Krenko's got my number here. Because of that Crow and War. Oh, of all of the things. Wow. Today is not my day. I can't even finality. Am I dead? I'm actually dead. Because, yeah. 3 mana, I can play out this, which gains me 2 life, and can safely block one of those, but that's 4 more coming in. I can't block Questing Beast, so that's 8, 13. I gain 2. So this had to have been lifelink, and that's assuming they don't attack with Krenko, so yeah, I've actually lost this game. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, wow. A Crow and War. Doing work. Alright, and now for a slightly less fun version of Mono Red. However, we finally see the Ozolith. We got the Ozolith, we got a Hired Poisoner and a Rapid Bite. I'm going to take my chances. Alright, no attacks at the moment. I'm just going to foul Mire during their turn. Oh, Krenko's back. Okay, what do you find with Falmar Knight? Gruesome Menagerie. Pestilent Spirit, I quite like that combo. So as much... Oh... Do I think I risk the goblins.
Go ahead. Nobody appreciates my handiwork.
And that said, now they play out Torber and they attack all three at Vraska. Vraska dies. Right, they're building up a board for their Torber. And all of those are going face, so we take out Krenko. If they have in hand... This is awkward. I've got to take out the war boss.
Fighting here is more fun than in the Undercity.
Forgotten Graveyard. Yeah, okay. Attacking's fine. I've got the Gruesome Menagerie. They didn't block. Okay. They are going 100% in for a lethal hit. 3, 6, 9. Block that. Block that. And then that's 3. Yeah, I think that's the best I can do. Didn't block the Fire Poisoner is a problem. I think I'm dead? Not quite. No, wait, yes I am. I'm dead. Because that blocks that, that blocks that, that blocks that, and I take lethal. Alright, and now Calyx. And that's a hand we cannot keep. This is a hand that is a risky keep, but I think we'll keep it regardless. So get ourselves a swamp. Draw ourselves a command tower. So I'll drop a Paradise Druid for the next turn getting Vraska down.
Fighting here is more fun than in the Undercity.
I think maybe I shouldn't be ramping into Vraska quite as much as I am. So we'll attack with this. We presumably don't block. Gets a counter. So we then drop Boot Nipper. Give it Death Touch. And we'll Ravenous. Can play out the Arcane Signet. And then we can Ravenous Bite Champion. And we'll make another token. Goes to Command Zone, which means I can replay it, which means I get to make another token. And now I don't even need to tap the Paradise Druid. Don't attack with Paradise Druid because there's a free block on Tristane.
Fighting here is more fun than in the Undercity.
Death Touch and Menace. And play out a Pestilent Spirit. And we'll create another assassin, because we can.
Whatever I feel suits them.
Okay, Mothra's pretty good. Grim Dancer can't attack or block. Alright, let's see here. Is it better to blow up something on their side? Or the pacifism? I think we just Assassin's Trophy Mothra. And then these all grow some more. They have decided to trade.
Keep your friends close. Kill your enemies.
Prison Realm hitting the big token. They need to play something else out. I mean, I guess they can play out Calyx and exile one of the things.
Foolish mortals have unbalanced our world.
Yep.
This will cease your meddling.
Okay, their plus they get to search for an enchantment. The minus, oh no, they got the mana to replay it, so it's better to just go face.
If you see an assassin coming for you, that's a bad assassin.
Get back our Boot Nipper. And I'll keep this just in case of a board wipe. They're digging for an answer. Elspeth Conquers Death doesn't kill anything that can actually... Okay, that creates them one blocker. That can't remove any of the things that can attack. That's pretty good. that can give another target creature lifelink. But I think this should make it lethal. Because if they give that lifelink, they gain 1 life, they go to 4, they can block the 2 biggest things, and they still take 4. Alright. Whew. So that didn't go anywhere near as well as I was expecting it to. This deck has generally done me well, on average. Oh, and there's Karuga the Macro Sage. Yeah, this deck has generally done me well, for the most part, when it comes to... when it's come to playing. This is the first time it's actually had as many losses as it has in a row there, so... Whether that's because my reworks haven't done quite as good a job as I'd hoped at making the deck better, and in trying to change up how it plays out, I've not quite done a good enough job. Maybe it's because I'm focusing too much on ramping out and getting Vraska out as soon as possible, whereas I should spend the first couple of turns developing a board state before Vraska, so that they then immediately grow. There's possibilities. Maybe I should get a little bit more reanimation going on, to then be able to make better comebacks. And I definitely feel that I was a little bit lacking in removal in that game. And yeah, because obviously my logic being, oh yeah, I've got all of this deathtouch that can count as removal, but then when the big threats hit the board, like Ethereal Absolution, which is a massive weakness of this deck, I just wasn't getting the answers for it when I needed them to. So, I'm not as happy with this as I was expecting to be. And I definitely think that I'm going to take some work with it, and see what I come up with down the line, essentially. I am probably going to build a separate black-green deck with Chevel. Maybe it's just the case that with the current metagame and whatnot, Vraska's not working quite as well. Maybe I just ran into a lot of bad luck, because we did have a lot of games just shut down by that one perfect card. So yes. Regardless, we'll see what the future holds when we get to it. As for everyone else, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.